as a country. So he says the immediate implication of this was that we lost ideas, even of our recent past, and we scarcely saw ourselves as one country and gradually began retreating into our primordial sentiments. Well, interesting. Anyway, I've also mentioned to you that they have about 3,700 teachers that would be trained. So the idea is to provide them with requisite skills needed to teach the subject, the technique, methodology, which will eventually give the subject an outlook that will arouse the interest of the children to listen with rapt attention and remove the initial barriers that may have inhibited learning. Okay. So he says on capacity building for teachers, having been disconnected from history teaching for several years, the Executive Secretary of Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Dr. Hamid Boboy, on his part actually, he said a total of 3,700 history teachers have been selected from 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory for training. So back to my question, how will this benefit Nigeria? So he says that the Minister of Education says that Nigerians have lost moral values because they were not learning history in school for 13 years. And basically, we've become divided within these 13 years because we were not learning history in school. So some of the questions I still have, I would like to hear from you. Is the non-teaching of history in all these years partly to blame for the division in Nigeria? Or should I say division amongst Nigerians? From 2009 till this time. And then, do you think that this is what Nigeria requires to foster oneness in the country? When we start teaching history in the schools, then we can bring back that unity that seemed to be lost. And my last question, how has learning about the history of Nigeria helped you in your interactions with your fellow citizens? That's for those who learned, for those who went to school before the 2009 when it was abolished. If you learned history in school, how has it helped you in your interaction with your fellow countrymen? So let's get to the phone lines. You can also head on to Facebook and join the conversation there. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH, that's our Facebook page. And then like the page and drop a comment. You can put a call through. Let's hear from you. 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. And then I'm taking messages on WhatsApp. So do well to send them to 0809-030-6496. All right, and then please do well to remember, I'm sure you heard the questions I asked, right? Now, this is not the platform for you to start abusing anybody. This is not the time. This is not the place or an avenue for you to make statements. You know the statements I'm referring to. You know those kind of statements that sound as if you have an agenda that is wrong. So please, this is not the time, this is not the place. You can keep those to yourself if that's what you want to call in and say. All right, some of the messages on Facebook here now. Usman Ahmed. What's the question on Facebook again? Let me see. Did the absence of the history subject impact the unity of Nigeria negatively? Oh, okay. And then Usman Ahmed says, no, not totally, but fake historians are telling the young ones lies about political culture of our nation's history. Bringing back of social studies at least will help us in one way to unite us. That's Usman Ahmed. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, I can take this call. Kingsley is calling from Oyibo. Hello, Kingsley. Okay, Kingsley, you will have to call me back. Thank you. 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. All right, back to the the Facebook messages. I'm seeing quite long messages. Anyway, Kelvin Daniel says, why not? Because without history, there is no story. It says loss of history, loss of story. All right. Oji Harry says, welcome developments. Nigeria history has never been the source of our quasi-unity. History that's in River State, her ethnics isn't taught. Rather, Hausa, Yoruba and Igbo is taught. Tell me how you are united when one learns Hausa, Yoruba and Igbo.
Are you up to date with ideas for sustainable?
So he says, tell me how you are united when one learns Hausa, Yoruba and Igbo history, whereas forgetting his. What a shame. All my secondary school days, I never heard of Obiwali, Ken Sarowiwa, Elichiamadi, not even the origin of the Ikwere people, nor any other nation in River State. I will suggest this history should be different. It should be based on where one is from. Each state should teach about the ethnic groups in her, not learning about Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. Okay. Titus is calling from Stadium Road. Titus.
Hello.
You're welcome on board. Please go on.
I'm calling for Stadium Road.
Yeah, we already know that. Go on.
Okay. No, the history is a very important lesson. During my own time, even in primary school, we did a lot of history. We have something called Carthaginian Empire in West Africa. So, but these days, it's not disconnecting to say, but it is very important and it's very good to return back to history. So that
All right. Thank you very much. We have commercials coming up in a bit, and afterwards we will continue. Please do stay tuned.
Are you worried
reintroduction of history in basic education curriculum, and it is to stand alone or to be a standalone course in the basic education curriculum. All right. And then about 3,700 teachers will also be trained to teach history so that they will know how to go about it and teach it in the right way. All right. Now, the Minister of Education, Adamu, mentioned some things and said, because we have not taught history in schools for 13 years, we've had issues. Division is one of those. Moral values going down. That's also what he mentioned. And so I ask you to tell me what benefits will this have? Reintroducing history in basic education, in the basic education curriculum, what benefits will it have on Nigeria? Or maybe on Nigerians as well. All right? So how would this benefit our country? And then, how has learning about the history of Nigeria, for someone who has learnt, if the 13 years gap did not affect you and you learnt about the history of this country, how has that helped you in your day-to-day activities, in your interaction with your fellow countrymen? All right? And then I'm asking, do you think that the non-teaching of history for like 13 years is partly to blame for the level of division in Nigeria? And then, is this what this country requires to foster oneness in the country? Well, let's get back to the phone lines. 070-0923-0923. I have Paul calling from Bonny. Hello, Paul.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Welcome.
I beg to differ that lack of history is what is making Nigeria a divided nation.
Now, I say partly to blame. Did you hear me? Hello, Paul. Is it my headphone or something else? Hello, Paul. Are you still there? Wow, interesting. Okay, Paul, please do well to call me back if you can, all right? And any other person who wants to call in. So back to that question again. I asked, and I'm still asking, if the non-teaching of history in 13 years is partly to blame for the kind of division, the level of disunity amongst Nigerians. Partly to blame, all right? I'm not saying it is to blame. I'm saying partly. There are so many other factors involved. So, this message here on Facebook, this is quite long, but I'll read them, don't worry. I'll read your messages. I've got time. So for those WhatsApp messages, you can send them to 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. All right, this person, what's your name? Okay, help me out here. If you're sending me a message on WhatsApp, include your name and your location. All right, that's how it works. Thank you very much. Joseph is calling from Degema. Hello, Joseph.
Yes.
Go on, please.
Hello.
I can hear you, Joseph. Go on.
I want to talk concerning the program.
Go ahead, Joseph. You are already on.
The study of history is very good because I also learned history right from my primary school and also earlier in the secondary school we did history and it's very good. But for me to hear that history has been taken up from the school curriculum is very bad, and whoever might have introduced that or brought that to light, I think the person did it under adulterious motive because the person has a hidden agenda. In the days we were able to know about Macaulay.
Hold on, Joseph.
The father of the nationality about Macaulay, how Nigeria was formed.
Okay.
And we looked about Fodio, about the jihad. You see, these are very enlightening subjects which made us to know how this country was formed.
So some people are trying to hide all these things.
Okay, Joseph, we're not discussing the removal. We're discussing reintroduction. It has been reintroduced. Okay, thank you very much, Joseph. I don't know how come Joseph is hearing the topic in reverse. But thank you very much for calling all the same. You can call back when you've understood what we're discussing, all right? So I'll go through the text again. You can actually find it online, all the news platforms, the national dailies. You can find this story there. The federal government has formally announced the reintroduction, not the scrapping, not the, removal, reintroduction of history subject as a standalone course in the basic education curriculum. And this is coming 13 years after it was removed from Nigeria's basic education curriculum. There were reasons for that, though. But since 2009, it was removed. All right? And the Minister of Education also says 3,700 history teachers have been shortlisted for the first round of training for enhanced teaching of the subject. And part of what he said is that, what's that now? The national cohesion was being threatened, but the country retreating into primordial sentiments because of lack of knowledge of the evolution of Nigeria following the removal of history from the basic education curriculum. All right, Paul has called us back. Hello, Paul from Bonny.
Oh, yeah, good evening.
All right, go on, Paul.
Just as I was saying, I am in my 60s. I grew to see Nigeria not being united. And the history, one of the reasons why Nnamdi Azikiwe left Lagos to come back to East is because of disunity. History we are taught then. Okay, even in these recent times in the 70s and 80s, we have seen ourselves fight each other. Igbo, I be Yoruba, I be Hausa, I be Igbo, and all what have you. Yet, within this period, histories we are taught. So how would somebody tell me that just for this yesterday, the history was removed from our curriculum is what makes us so divided like this?
13 years. Wasn't yesterday.
Yes, that's yesterday compared by the years it was taught. That's what I mean.
Okay.
So how would somebody tell me that it is just these 13 years that made us so divided? No, this division is in our nature. It has been there, and I'm afraid it will continue to be there. No matter, even by the way,
all right, Paul.
History sometimes are not factual. Like in a recent time, there is a documentary they used to show in.
Okay, Paul. Paul, I'm going to have to let you go so I can hear from other people.
About the Nigerian, in the first school, when they as they were presenting it, they mentioned the particular people as the people who led the coup. But why there are so many other people from other ethnic groups? That is history, but it's not true. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for calling, Paul. So right now I'm going to quote the Minister of Education. Let's hear exactly what he said. So he said, this single act, that's referring to the removal of history subjects in basic education curriculum before now. He said this single act, no doubt, relegated and eroded the knowledge and information that learners could otherwise have been exposed to. It was a monumental mistake and have already started seeing its negative consequences. The loss created by the absence of this subject has led to a fall in moral values, erosion of civic values, and disconnection from the past. And then he says, more worrisome was the neglect of the teaching of this subject at basic and post-basic levels of education, which invariably eroded the knowledge of the evolution of Nigeria as a country. And he said some other things, but let's hear from Ifani. Ifani is calling from Oyibo. Hello, Ifani.
Hello.
Good evening. Go on, please.
Good evening to you, presenter. We are discussing about this history in Nigeria, right?
Reintroduction of history as a subject.
Yes, it's very good. Hello, are you hearing me?
I'm listening, Ifeanyi.
Okay, it's very good to reintroduce history in Nigeria again. We give them kudos as they reintroduce it. But that is not the reason why Nigeria is being divided today. Nigeria is divided today because of the way the people in on top is governing us. The APC-led government today.
Thank you very much, Ifeanyi, for calling. Before we turn this into a party affair. Now he's mentioning APC. Another person will call in to say, no, it's PDP. Oh, another person will say, no, it's not PDP. It's whichever party. And then we start doing that. But please, let's not do that. All right? Thank you for calling. The study of history in schools cannot be overemphasized. How do you know where you are going when you do not know where you are coming from? History is a part of research and development. Reintroducing history is reintroducing a balanced curriculum in schools for educational growth and development. In higher institutions, it combines with other disciplines such as international relations. Joachim from Atali. All right, thank you very much for your message. Good evening, Constance. I see the reintroduction of history as a welcome development because without history, how do we remember that there was a time the whole world has to go on nose mask? It has helped me in the past. Pius from Moji. Ah, interesting. All right, Pius, thank you. Emma Otaka from Choba says, good evening, Constance. It makes me angry each time I hear that history is being reintroduced in our schools. What and who ordered the removal in the first place? I'm not happy. The harms the removal caused our children. And then this person here on Facebook, yeah? All right. Proof Papa on Facebook says, good afternoon, Constance. The absence of history subjects in Nigerian schools is really a threat to Nigeria's unity. As a teacher, I have found out that many pupils and students don't know much about their state, local government area, and community. Sometimes it is the fault is from their parents because they don't take these children home for them to know the culture and tradition of their people, especially during Christmas period. Most of them think they are from the state and local government area they are staying. Another is from the educational curriculum. I have found out that the southern parts of this country really don't know what they want in education because in the north, Makaramtum, what's that? I don't know what it is. But he says it's very important to the children. When growing up, a National Teachers Institute, you must study Arabic as a course. So please, the history should come back to schools so that our children can get a good idea of their tribe. All the tribes should teach their language in schools. All right. Thank you very much for your message. 070-0923-0923. So I'm asking for the benefit. How does the reintroduction of history benefit Nigeria? And how does... and do you think that the absence of history as a subject in the school curriculum may have been partly to blame for the level of division in our country? Do you think it could have impacted the unity of Nigeria negatively? So get on Facebook and share your thoughts on this, all right? Facebook again is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Like the page and drop a comment there. And then you can send a message via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416. And then I'm still taking your calls so you can keep them coming. 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. Greetings, lady. I think the reintroduction of history is good. It will check many misinformation and doctored accounts of socio-political events being peddled by some fraudulent agitations in the country. Someone in a public forum once challenged my opinion because I said when the British created regions, the present-day Delta and the Edo states were in Western region, not Eastern region. The individual got angry with me that I was driving a divide and rule account and lies. Meanwhile, my position is correct. The reintroduction of history in our school curriculum will correct many of the lies that have been told to incite uninformed young ones against the Nigerian state. Your name is Emmy Fieraga from Port Harcourt. Okay. Fieraga. 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. So how do you think the reintroduction of history subjects in our school curriculum, talking about the basic education curriculum, how do you think it's going to benefit Nigeria? In what area? In what way? Oguojone Justice says it's because of lack of history that's making some youths ignorant to beat their chest for war. If we don't know whom we are and why we are like this, we can't develop. All right. We have Mr. Isaac from Elibolo. Hello, Mr. Isaac.
Good evening, Madam Constance.
Good evening. You're welcome. Please go on.
Thank you. I'm interested in this discussion.
All right, go on.
You know, history is the memory of human society. And if it is forgotten, we cease in that measure from being human. History is the soul of the society. So the introduction of history is awakening the soul of our society. Man is a tripartite being. He has a soul, he lives in the body, and is a spirit. So history is the consciousness that we have about our society and life after now. That's history for you. So when history is introduced at the junior level, we are creating an awareness, an intellectual awareness, that the lives of our children can be straightened up. Now, the removal of history in our curriculum is responsible partly for our backwardness. The man who does not know his past and lives in his present may not be able to predict his future. That's what history does for us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Mr. Isaac. All right. And then Samuel from Borokiri is calling. Hello, Samuel.
Hello, good evening, madam.
Good evening to you, Mr. Samuel. Go on.
We learn from history to correct ourselves in the future. And when certain things happen in the past, if we go back to them, it will enable us to also correct certain things in the future. It's just like somebody said, a lot of people have told facts. They have distorted facts. So, with history, our children should be able to know those, where they come from, other areas within the country, and how the people interrelated, even how they trade among one another. Yes, very important. Like the ancient Benin Kingdom, how they were able to use their own hand to do some crafts that we could not do today. To ginger the children into action for them to now do something in the future.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling, Samuel from Borokiri. All right, we have Joseph from Chuba. Hello, Joseph. Hello.
Yes, hello, my name is Joseph. I'm calling from Chuba.
Go ahead.
I believe that the reintroduction of history in our school the introduction of history will help in the development of Nigeria as a nation. That's my country.
All right, thank you very much. We have Kristen from... Oh, can you be back? Okay. Good evening, Constant. Emeka from Iguruta. Emeka, what? Like, you actually expect that I'm going to read this on air? Seriously? Well, thank you all for sending that message. All right, Tao is calling. All right, Taiwo is calling from Baraja. Hello, Taiwo.
Hello, Constant. Good evening.
Good evening to you. Please go on.
Yeah, okay. For me, history is the bedrock of knowledge of everyone. It's the foundation. You need to study history for you to be able to know you are today and you are tomorrow. What had transpired in the past, what is today, and what is about to be tomorrow. And that's why I know you have one program, I can't remember the name of the program, where you just take up about someone, you hear phenomena, you just start from how she started, this, that, or you take the say King Jaja of Opobo, just talk about him from how he was captured, went into slavery and all that. I mean, there are some things, some places I see today that I studied them in history. So when I come to see them, then it was like a story to me. It was like a fairy tale to me. But what you say, the kingdom, and so this thing I was in my holidays history, they are realities. So it's very, very, very important.
All right.
Very, very important to be reintroduced.
All right, thank you. The program is called His Story. All right, this program plays every day at 1:30. Okay, commercials up now and then at 6. I'll be back for open.
Tuned in to Cyber Info.